on fraction. Now our question is, in a jar containing red, black, and green sweets. 1/3 were red. 1/3 were red. Then 1/4 were black. Okay, so 1/4 were black. All right, so from this statement, what fraction were green? What fraction were green? Right. So in order to tackle this question, the first thing you have to do is put down the data. Put down the data. When I say put down the data, what I mean is deduce the figures from the question given to you, and that one is going to help you figure out how to tackle it. Okay, so follow me, you get what I mean. So we have in a jar containing red, black, and green sweets. So we have red. Let me represent red with R. We have black. Let me represent black with B. And then we have green sweets. So I'm representing green with G. Okay, green with G. And we say that 1/3 were red. So this means the total number of sweets given to you was not indicated, okay? But it was given to you, the various figures were given to you in a form of fraction. So let's proceed. So 1/3 were red. So the red is 1/3. And then 1/4 were black. So the black is 1/4. And then you were asked to find the fraction for green. So that means green, we don't know. All right, we don't know that of green. And what is the total number of objects? We don't know. So this means you have to find the total number of fractions too. And in mathematics, we're going to know that when you add fractions, that is part of a whole, when you add them, you get a whole number, which is similar to what? 1. So this is a fraction, part of a whole. This fraction, part of a whole. And then this one is also supposed to be in a fraction. Even the question says what fraction. So this means this one too will be part of the whole. And a whole gives you 1. Okay. So this means all fractions added give us what? 1. So the total fraction for R, B, and then G should be equal to what? 1. Good. So now let's proceed. Let's move on to the side. So we have been asked to find the remaining fraction for the green. Okay. So how are you going to go about that? Now we have the red plus the black plus the green to be equal to 1. That is, when you sum the fractions, you should get a whole number. So what is the fraction for red? We have 1 divided by 3. That is 1/3. And then we have the black to be what? 1/4 plus, we don't know the green. So let's write our green here, all equal to 1. After figuring out, you see the data that we put down has helped us to figure out what is missing. So it is going to serve as a guide to help you solve the question. Okay, so now that we figured the fraction for the red sweets, fraction for the black sweets, we don't know the fraction for the green sweets, but we know the total fraction to be equal to what? 1. Good. So over here you group like terms. What I mean by grouping like term is send all those involving numbers to one side and leave those variables at one side. Okay, so we have fraction, a variable or a letter, and then a number. So I'm sending all these to this side. Okay, so I'll be having this G, the green, left. So the G is equal to, I have one whole number here already. Now I'm sending the 1/3 to this side and it is crossing the equal sign. Usually, basically, that is what we used to say. But in mathematical terms, that is not the actual word. Let's move on. Okay, so one whole number, 1/3 here is positive. So when it comes to this side, it will be what? Negative. That is 1 out of 3. And then these two, 1 out of 4 here is also positive. So when it comes here, it will be what? Negative 1 out of 3. So we have our green equal to, now we have our one whole number minus 1 out of 3 minus 1 out of 4. And one whole number means what? The total number of fraction that we have. Okay, right. So we can now find the LCM for the given fractions. Okay, now in mathematics, whenever you have a whole number and you think solving it will confuse you, just divide the whole number by 1. Okay, just divide the whole number by 1, because we know that any number divided by 1 is the same number. Any number multiplied by 1 is the same number. Okay, so if you know solving this one, finding the LCM will confuse you, just divide the whole number by 1. Okay, so you can write it as one whole number divided by 1. Just like that. One whole number divided by 1 is the same one. Okay, so we have our 1 divided by 3 minus 1 divided by 4. Now we find the LCM for 1, 3, and 4. 1, 3, and 4. How are you going to do it? Should we use the listing method? Okay, let's use the listing method here. Okay, so multiples of 1. You have multiples of 1. You have 1 times any number is the same number. So you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, up to infinity. Because 1 multiplied any number is the same number. And then the multiples of 3. We have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and the rest. Multiples of 4. We have 4, 8, 12, 16, and the rest. So let's find out the number which is common to the multiples of 1, 3, and 4. That is the denominators. So we have 4. We don't have 4 here. We have 4 here, but we don't have 4 here. We have 8. We don't have 8 here, but we have 8 here. Okay, so these are not common. We have 12. We have 12. We have 12. All right, so we have 12. We have 12. We have 12. We have 16, 15, 13. Okay, so we see that the first multiple that you can find common to 1, 3, and 4 is what? Is 12. Okay, so we take that one as our lowest common multiple for the denominators 1, 3, and 4. So we have our G equal to, that's the lowest common multiple, and we are going to use that 12 as our denominator, our main denominator. After getting this, you divide this LCM by the denominator, you multiply the results by the numerator. So 12 divided by 1 is what? Still 12. So you multiply it by the numerator, 1. You bring your subtraction sign. 12 divided by 3 is what? 4. You multiply by what? The numerator, 1. Then You bring your subtraction sign. 12 divided by 4 is what? We have 3. So you multiply the results by the numerator here, 1. Okay. So we have our green. Still figuring out the fraction for green. 12 multiply 1 gives you what? We have 12 minus 4 multiply 1 gives you 4. 3 multiply 1 gives you 3. Still divided by 12. Hope you're following. Let me clean this one. We were just used to help us figure out the LCM. Okay. Right. So 12, you subtract 4 from it, and then you subtract 3 from it. And that one gives you what? 5, right? Good. So we have our green to be equal to 5 divided by 12. This becomes the answer for the question, what fraction were green? So after getting these results, you conclude the fraction of sweets green sweets, yes, let's qualify it, green sweets were 5 out of 12. So that is how we solve the word problem questions with respect to fraction. So one thing that you have to take notice, anytime you are giving word problem question, first deduce the data, okay? Deduce the data from the question. After deducing the data from the question, that is writing the core things that you need to assist you in solving it. It is going to guide you, okay? And then you'll be able to figure out what the answer is. So this becomes our answer for the question given here. 5 out of 12 becomes the fraction of green sweets from this question.